So I was just sitting here and a thought came to my mind. Everything in this universe is duality. So our bodies, right, they age from young to old. What if our souls are the opposite? What if when we are physically an infant, our soul is connected to that very old soul wisdom? It's the most connected to our higher self, or our divine essence, which is old, right? Because we began when life began. So that is what we're connected to at birth. Then as our body physically goes from baby to child to teen, our soul is going from very old to a little bit less wise in adulthood, to a little bit less wise in young adulthood, to a little bit less wise in teenage years, because we're focused externally instead of keeping that focus on our soul. So then when our body goes from teen to adulthood, essentially our soul is going back through the stages of us reparenting our external so that we can regain the wisdom lost on the journey from the soul essence. We gain earthly wisdom and then need to reconnect with our soul wisdom after we rediscover that we are not our bodies. So as we grow, the goal is to recognize that partaking on the human journey requires us to forget who we are. So that is what makes us go from old soul to being kind of disconnected from that and then rediscovering it. Because the purpose is to forget so that we can go on the journey of remembering. So we go along our journey until we recognize that although externally we may know a lot, that's where our focus has been. So at some point on the journey, we redirect that focus inward, recognizing that there's a need to realign with our innocence, to bring back that childlike state of the soul, which rebirths the soul. And when the soul is rebirthed, it went through all the stages from old soul back down through the difficult stages of adult and teenage, back down to recognizing that we needed to reconnect with our youthfulness and innocence after the journey had been trying us to do character development for us. So we go through the difficult period, regain our soul's innocence by looking at the world again from a healed perspective. That allows us to rebirth our soul. And when we rebirth our soul from that childlike, innocent soul perspective, and essentially what that is looking at those hard parts of the journey and saying, I understand why I had to go through that. I understand how that helped me develop. Now I need to see it from a place of self-love again, from a place of, I may not agree with everyone's decisions and what they did in terms of their roles in my life, but I understand how it helped me develop. Looking at it from that perspective is what gets us back to that childlike, accepting version of our soul. We then do the work to rebirth ourselves. And when we rebirth ourselves, we rebirth at the youthfulness of our soul, but with the wisdom attained through the whole cycle. So we have that old soul energy that we were born with, that we temporarily disconnected from so we could remember who we are. But we have it at the perspective of healing, aka that childlike, innocent part of our soul. What do you think?